missing the point. No, you're missing the point. No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. No conversation on Clubhouse is going to solve this. No, you are. No conversation is going to solve this. Whatever I say isn't going to solve this. You've got a crazy fucking...
Jeremy, you're the same dumb motherfucker that was histrionic about the fact that there was an issue with Canada. You were histrionic about it like a fucking 5-year-old schoolgirl. It was disgusting. It was the most, like, disgusting, slimy ass representation.
We're gonna just fucking march in and take your shit over. We're gonna march over the fucking ice wall.
Yeah, you're gonna march over my fucking ass.
Now that was funny.
March over
What are you marching in with?
They're mountains.
I want to know what you're marching in with.
We'll be coming by horseback, that's right. Cans of maple syrup in our hands.
That'll be...
I'll tell you, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what we do. There's never been a country in the history of man that went isolationist and went against international trade that was successful and didn't collapse. That's just a fact. You guys don't have certain things. You just don't. You don't have soft.
Jeremy, you are the most impotent fucking Canadian I have ever seen.
No, I apologize. Thank you for letting me finish. But please, Americans, go ahead. Let me make some space for you. Go ahead. But first, thank you again for letting me speak.
They want to
and then whine like a schoolgirl.
They want to invade America to steal the Stanley Cup because they
No,
never got it.
That's my point. My point is that Jeremy is whiny, histrionic little fuck when it comes to... You are not serious. You whine like the world is fucking collapsing. I heard you get packed up by fucking Goat the other day, which, by the way, Goat packs me up on occasion too. But you got packed the fuck up by Goat. Because your histrionic complaining about your fucking country is dumb. It doesn't help you. It doesn't make you friends. It just makes people like me, who are prone to be on your side, be irritated that you can't keep your fucking mouth shut without being histrionic. Like, it takes people who are predisposed to be in your corner and takes them the fuck out of the corner. Because
you know what it feels like, Marshall?
Stop being a histrionic asshole about shit.
You know what it feels like? It feels like I'm at the party and, like, my buddy's really fucking drunk and he's like, dude, I'm gonna fucking drive home, man. I got this covered. And I'm like, dude, no, you're too drunk. Please don't get behind the wheel. I just feel like that's what Canada is trying to say and the rest of the world is trying to say to you guys. Like, this man that's steering your country, is fucking going right into, he's got about 12 drinks over the line.
Defend yourself.
He kicked me? What a faggot.
Don't worry about us. What you should be worried about is yourself. Because
nobody...
You are fucked.
Yeah, no, everybody knows that.
America has never once died.
We're not saying...
America has never spent one fucking bullet defending Canada. Never. We have never been threatened to be attacked. We have never been attacked except for Americans. No, you're gonna... Not you.
It was us that went to war for you.
You're the only country threatening to attack us.
Jeremy.
No, it's true. We went to war for you guys.
Elect Wayne Gretzky as your prime minister, and we might respect.
No, we don't elect celebrities. There's a difference in culture here. We don't elect celebrities. We don't elect TV stars or pro wrestlers. We don't elect fucking goofballs or Fox TV show hosts to be fucking head of the world's largest army. That's insane.
Is that what you're saying?
Are you trying to insinuate that who you just
Is that like literally the only Canadian you know about, Abby? Like,
he's not a politician.
I know about. That's the only Canadian worth knowing, right? Is Gretzky.
He's not a politician. We're not like that.
Another Canadian that's worth.
Yes,
There was a
because
couple
your
other hockey
so-called
players.
politicians have
Maybe
done a
there's some
bang-up
hot
job.
ones.
I mean, you
So,
can't,
look,
you
I'm
can't
like-
even,
We're not-
even get a
Nobody can
Canadian
deny that the
like,
United States has the
like-
world's biggest army. Nobody can deny that the United States has an amazing history. Nobody
We have the
economy. Nobody can deny that. Nobody can deny.
Shut the fuck up.
nobody can deny all of the accomplishments that you guys have done, right? What we're saying exactly is that you have a crazy man behind the wheel. That's all we're saying.
And here's what we're saying.
Alright.
We say the same about you.
Don't
You
fucking.
literally
Yeah, I
say
know.
the
We kicked
same
ours
about
out.
you.
We kicked ours out. Ours is shitty. Ours is shitty.
Just a moment after like jumping down his throat, Jeremy. I only jumped down your throat because your points about your country are good points.
You do sound
But
kind of
every time you're
Marshall.
histrionic, just listen. You don't have to like accept it as advice, but just listen to it for a second. When you're histrionic about Canadian and U.S. relations in modern day, despite the fact that like you feel like you got the
4
right
times.
to be irritated by it, the interfacing and the histrionics.
Dude, Marjorie
They
Taylor
just-
Greene,
they
Lauren
don't-
Boebert.
No, hold on. They just
Like,
they don't register.
Why are you calling Jeremy histrionic when, like, literally the people that are the
Histrionic?
Because I have listened to Jeremy be absolutely histrionic about shit, and my point is not that he is histrionic, it's that it sucks away from the point he is making, which is a valid one, which is the United States needs to
No,
consider.
you're the one getting
It's
histrionic about
the
him
United
losing
States
the point in the
needs to
first place.
consider its third closest ally, which is Canada. But you can't do that when you have a
I've
conversation
roasted Marshall
in
and
which
Jeremy
everybody
200
is
times.
complaining that Donald
Cool,
Trump is the
100
worst thing
times.
since mankind.
He is.
Like, started.
He is
Cool,
so
I've roasted Marshall and
You have a
Jeremy
great
200
country.
times. Cool,
You
100
have an
times.
amazing country, dude. But the entire world, he's negatively affecting everybody. And I know he's saying he's doing it for you guys for the good. And I hope he makes the economy better.
That's not
He's not making the economy better.
I feel
Well, we hope that he makes it better.
He's also
I feel for
wrecking
both you and
any
Jeremy,
progress we're
and
making
the
on
only way the two of you are going to make your arguments make any sense is if they don't become histrionic or hyperbolic. Like,
Dude,
the moment that
Marshall,
happens, it takes
Marshall,
away the
I wish
legitimacy.
the replays were on in here because literally the last 10 minutes you've been the most histrionic person in the room.
Okay, could you tell me how I've been histrionic? What did I say that was
You
histrionic?
sound drunk and you're going on a rant about Jeremy just making a valid point.
Marshall does
Okay.
not sound drunk.
That's not me being histrionic. That's you not liking what I have to say.
Can I just tell everybody, I'm changing my grinder profile right now to histrionic.
Changing your Grindr profile?
6969.
Has to be.
Histrionic for you.
So make those tough those people.
So the question is, right? The
Would you
question
ask
is,
if they like
I mean-
cheesesteaks on their profile? Like, do you put that on their Skype?
No, but you know what, Abby? I do put my links. I do put on my Bumble and my Tinder stuff. I put links to my podcast, and I get women listening. And it's a great strategy because
No whiz. Absolutely
shows-
no whiz.
This ain't no
It's-
whiz.
it shows my personality. And they can weed me out if they don't like me, and we have something to talk about when we content. So I found putting a podcast on there is a great strategy.
It's interesting. You're not giving away too much.
So Marshall, I think one of the questions is like, you know, obviously Trump's doing things in very different manner, right? I think everybody can agree with that. He's doing a lot of things very quickly.
Yeah, dude, he's doing
And-
stuff
and-
that hadn't been done in the last like 40 years of American government.
Right. And a lot of people have hope for that. And I hope it works out, that the American economy gets better because in the end it's better for everybody else. I really hope so. But the question is, okay, if he does well, I'll eat my words. I'll say I was fucking wrong, you know? But I do wonder if there will be true believers that maintain their allegiance to him for forever. I don't know. I don't know. Like you like history, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't know
you
what
know
you're
about
talking
charismatic
about.
leaders.
I don't
I
understand
think
what you're
what you're
talking
hitting
about.
at is a couple of
Like,
tensions.
makes them
I think what you're hitting at is a couple of tensions in America, right? There's the urban-rural tension, which has been there since the founding of the country. There's the educated versus uneducated contention. And there's a guy named William Hofstadter who wrote in late 1950s a book called American Anti-Intellectualism. And so those are two really big things that pull.
Right.
We're also in a populist moment So just so you know, before populist moments, American voters, eligible size 220 million, only about 15% of that number, not 15% of Republicans, Democrats, and Libertarians, just 15% of the whole number are considered policy voters. Everybody else votes on emotion, you and me included. And the note for people moving, emotions already drive people in situations where expertise is listened to. But in a populist moment, when there's this amorphous, people don't feel like it's working and they want to just like take it down.
Yeah, that's this dangerous thing, right? A dangerous point in history. So I'm just wondering if we, and I will include Canada because everything that Washington does affects us here, it affects us directly. If we will navigate this whole thing, this sort of, I don't want to get hyperbolic and say we're on a precipice of, infinite drop or anything like that, but I just hope that we navigate this time well,
We are on a precipice of American-Canadian relations for the next at least decade of our lives being different, right?
I'm doubtful of that, though.
I don't think you know that it's going to be super different, but I think after, and this is talking to Adam, after noticing the way America has done things with Canada under Donald Trump, this is actually after talking to Jeremy in a private way, it is, if I can reflect it, this may not be you, Poodle, but there was this wed kind of love of America, and certain Canadians feel betrayed by the way that the Trump administration has dealt with things. Also,
well, that's exactly how I feel. My sister's married to an American. She lives in Chicago.
I went to Toronto for a weekend and my testosterone dropped 30 points. It's really weird.
Right? We're chill, right? I mean, you could relax. It must have felt good. That's real freedom, Scott.
You need to play.
You're feeling freedom, Scott.
That's the thing.
This
is why Canadian men are superior. They act like gentlemen on the streets and they take it out on the fucking ice. This is how this works. They're trained to do it from a very young age. And they grow them big there too. Like a good, nice hockey player, good 6'4", 250.
Not all are that tall though, Cora. Like I think our team has more Canadians on it than any other US team.
If you're sharing a hotel room
And
with
they're
friends,
not too bad. Like most of them would be really tall.
They tend to be between 6'1" and 6'4". Yeah.
Do they? Would you say hockey players
Believe me, I
Would you say hockey players are all 6'1" to 6'4"? All right, go ahead. I'm sitting
I
up for a
average 6'2".
player.
I average
I just
6'1".
have a hockey player right here. Go ahead.
No, they aren't 6'1" to 6'4".
Are they?
They're like 5'10". They're like 5'10", 5'11" to 6'2".
Okay. I heard it from a hockey player. Thank you.
Everybody and I always go to fucking
It's
to try to
but the bigger dudes than that.
No, because what was our goalie? What was Fleury? Fleury was not too. It was like our old goalie. Yeah, Aiden Hill's tall, but Marchessault, one of our best players, a small guy.
Grexy's not big.
How big's Grexy?
He wasn't a big
The average NHL player is 6'1", 199 pounds. Goalies tend to be 6'3", 200. Defense between 6'2", or 6'2" and above, 202 pounds. I like defensemen.
You're reading
defensemen. I'm a Tom Wilson kind of girl. So that's who I pay attention to.
So, Marshall, I grew up and lived near Windsor, Detroit. And, all the factories are mixed up. You have some parts made in Windsor, some parts made in Detroit. I don't know how that worked out or why it worked out that way.
Same shit here, Poodle.
Yeah.
We send doors for Ford pickups to Reynosa, which is McAllen's sister city. They get put together in Maquiladoras and come back.
I just don't know how things are going to work out. How the fuck? I don't know, man. I just, Trump's and then the other thing that I don't like about Trump is even if it's just jokes and stuff like that, saying you're going to take over countries. I mean, most people think it's not cool. I think you guys could agree with that. Just the language.
Oh, yeah. There's a part of me that goes not cool, but there's also, I guess, a political part of me that goes, that's never going to happen. The American public would never stand for it.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, if he actually gave the orders, okay, guys, it's time to invade Canada. I mean, we'd be like, fuck you. They would tell him to fuck himself. They would never do it, you know?
Exactly. No, fucker.
Policy, like the taking over Greenland, like just terribly.
No.
That actually makes sense. I'm sorry.
It makes economic sense.
So
we could do it tactfully.
I'm not arguing the strategic relevance of Greenland. I'm arguing the public perspective. The public perception of taking over Greenland. You know how this ends is in a recession, and this ends in probably a pretty big midterm for the Democrats, and that's not a good thing because recession and economic contraction is a lot of pain for a lot of people. But this sort of buffoonery and just terrible governance is going to have a political response.
Yeah. And don't get us wrong. We don't. Fuck. You know, my sister's American. Literally, she's got dual citizenship, and no Canadian I've ever spoken to actually says they hate Americans. Nobody I know. At least not the people I hang out with. And I think most people don't. It's just the way, you know. I agree with you. Probably if Trump and Vance put it in a very tactful manner with good language and propose the idea to the citizens of Greenland, hey, do you want to join up with us? It's your choice, of course. You know, you're a democratic nation. We're friends. What do you think? It might work out. But, you know, just the whole...
They don't have the choice, right? They are controlled. So
No. They can vote. They can vote. They have a free vote. So my point is that, you know, that's besides the point. My point is that if they have grand ideas like that, why not do it in a tactful idea? But, you know, that's not Trump. That's not his way. And I guess the rest of the world is kind of saying, like, you know, please stop with the crazy language. And I think there's a lot of Americans who feel the exact same thing.
Supporters feel the same way, though. That's the thing that I think people missed. People do not. Most Trump supporters I know actually don't like the language, don't love everything about him, but are willing to accept it for things like one of the things that right now I honestly makes me sick to my stomach, and it should every American, is the IRS. The IRS has been 30 years waiting for a project to modernize its
Okay, tell 'em.
30
Tell 'em.
years
Tell 'em.
behind
Keep
schedule.
Preach.
So,
Preach.
the other thing, hold on, Matt. The other thing is
Preach.
$15 billion over budget. $15 billion. Now,
I don't know what you guys are hearing right now, but this lady's
Hold on, Matt.
speaking the goddamn truth.
Hold on a minute. One of two things is true. Either
Apologize.
those people are on the take, and there is a reason they don't want modernization, because obviously it makes it easier to root out corruption and just error, right?
Oh yeah. Keep preaching.
But who's benefiting from a 30-year delay in something we're paying for? We are actively paying for modernization.
Come on.
It should really sicken every American. I don't care if you are left or right.
I mean,
I don't know what I'm agreeing tonight, but goddamn, that's the fucking truth.
So $1 put into the IRS typically turns back, I believe, $4 or $5 of tax revenue. The IRS has been traditionally underfunded for decades now, and that's
I'm
one
not
of the reasons
talking about
why.
underfunded.
You're trying to defend the IRS. Get this motherfucker out of here.
That's one of the reasons why tax avoidance among the more wealthy is a pretty common.
Yeah, but, okay.
You know,
So why not modernize? Hold on a minute. I have a question for you.
Well, can
Why
I just
would
finish?
we
Can I finish
not?
3 more sentences? Can I finish 3 more sentences?
No, then you can go. I'm gonna leave because I've got to go to bed. But one question
That's
is,
good.
why would we not? Because if that is the case, why would we not demand that modernization and that the system upgrade didn't take 30 fucking years, and we would be money ahead right now?
I mean, IRS modernization is something that needed to occur. I mean,
We've been paying for it for 30 years.
Could I answer the question, or no? I guess not.
It's a yes or no. I mean, like, this is a simple. This is like a duh.
I'm with you about making things more efficient, man. Like, our country, Ellie, is absolutely horrible. And, I mean, when, the stuff that I say here, like, we need a reform as well. So much money gone to waste. And our left is stupid Trudeau, which I wish he was kicked out way earlier. He was all about the big government and paying attention to like micro issues, like just the smallest things, and not putting the economy first. I totally get it, Al. I just hope that Trump navigates this whole change, or whoever comes after him, if this change continues, does it in a really good way. My family is a political family from Southern Ontario. And, not only is my sister down there in Chicago and her husband's in the local government, but like, my dad's best friend is John Bellamy, and his great-grandfather literally wrote the Pledge of Allegiance. And his wife, who just died a little while ago, is former Prime Minister Paul Martin's sister. So my family's got like this whole political thing with Ottawa. My grandfather was Reeve of Essex County for 30 years, and my uncle, Minister of Agriculture in Ottawa as well. But the thing is just having been raised with a slight awareness of that, when you're raised around that thing, when you get somebody elected with that kind of voice and just swearing and just the way that he puts things out there, you kind of like are like, holy crap, like I can't believe he's saying these sorts of things, it's very unbecoming of someone in that for the president of the United States to talk that way.
Who are you to determine how the president of the United States should talk?
Okay,
Like, first of all, you're not a citizen.
As I said,
number one,
you're
not a citizen. Number two, you had a bozo as your prime minister. That, I mean, if you want to talk about disrupting a country and what he did, and talk to the truck drivers,
and I agree,
and the people in Canada.
I agree.
Who are you to tell us how our government should speak? Like, seriously.
Well,
you don't. You can't, and you shouldn't. And you're just. It's just. Who gives a shit?
Well, I'll tell you, Abby. I think Donald Trump is a bloviating asshole, and he should keep his fucking mouth shut.
Exactly.
Like, if you don't vote for him, if you're not there as
he's everybody's problem, though, Abby. He's everybody's problem.
How's he everyone's problem?
Well, he's threatening to invade Canada.
Did you elect him? Did you vote for him?
Then he should keep his mouth shut when it comes. He should keep his mouth shut when he wants to talk about Canada.
But that's not
he
your
should
business.
say positive.
You're not the elected.
It is, because I'm Canadian. You're not making any sense. You're not making any sense. You're not making any sense. You're not making any sense.
Abby, can I ask you a question, Abby? Should Polish Jews have any say in what Hitler was doing, Abby, in your opinion? Like, they didn't vote him in, right? Should Polish Jews have during? I'm asking you.
That's the most. Someone who invaded. Wait.
You're saying
someone who invaded their country.
Trump is saying he's going to invade our country.
Someone who invaded
yeah,
their
I got
country.
an opinion.
Trump did not invade Canada.
Come on.
So, like, what kind of?
Then why the fuck is he saying stuff like that? That's my point.
Well, Abby, he said he's going to. He said he's going to. Yeah, people asked if he was joking. He said repeatedly, "No, I'm not joking." Repeatedly.
Exactly.
His staff has said that he's not joking.
Yeah.
So we're just taking him at his word. Why are you taking offense?
Let's look at what happened.
Let's look at that.
You actually have to now worry about what's coming into our border.
No.
Because we had fentanyl coming in from the northern border.
No, it's the opposite. You guys got to keep your side of the border clean from coming into Canada.
There are more guns and more fentanyl coming from the U.S. into Canada than they
all. You know what? You should
keep your shit out.
You should be it too. Hey, if you're not concerned about what's coming in from this side, then you should do on the same thing.
Abby, no, you're right. But Abby, that's not how borders work. Can I say something, Abby? Can I say something really quickly? The way borders work is that the country is responsible for protecting their borders. And so when America comes and says, hey, Canada.
Do you understand that right after he made, right after he made those demands, the funniest thing happened with Mexico and Canada. All of a sudden, there are now troops in Mexico at the border, and the Canadians. Yeah, that's
Yeah, because these people are intentional.
Can I tell you what happened? Can I tell you what happened?
No, Abby, you're a true believer.
Hold on, Abby, can I say something? And I'd love if you let me just finish on thank you really quick. So Canada and Canada have to be cooperative with the U.S. initially, right? When first came on, said, hey, we're going to pay for one military helicopters to patrol the border, right? It was a $50 million program that we spent, that Canada spent, and they shut it down. Do you know why? Because after 2 months of patrolling, they only found one person across illegally with fentanyl, and they were going from the U.S. to Canada.
Only one
And they said, this is such a waste of fucking money going from the U.S. to Canada. Yes, we control the border. So they shut down the program.
Okay, so do you think nothing is coming in? Do you want to know about our watch list?
Very little.
And how many came in from the Canadian border during the Biden administration? Do you know what the
You and
numbers
your
were?
fucking terrorists.
Since you don't live in the U.S., you
Yeah,
don't
it's a
listen
dangerous
to.
world.
Are you talking 9/11? Are you talking 9/11?
No.
It's a dangerous
Perhaps
world.
if you listen to Director Wray when he was running the FBI and his testimony in front of Congress about what they've picked up coming in from the northern border of people that were actually on our watch list that were not being stopped by the Canadians and coming in and penetrating into
So
the
first of all, Abby, we don't stop people when they leave our country. Neither do you. That's not how borders work.
Really?
You're
We
supposed
don't
to
stop
set your
people
own.
when they leave our country? Really?
No, you don't.
Have you ever left the United States? Have you ever left the U.S.?
Yes, I used to go to the U.S. all the time.
And what happens when you leave the U.S.?
I tried to answer it.
Can you get on an airplane without a passport when you leave the U.S.?
Never seen a gaming
You don't have to go through customs when you leave the U.S., Abby. When you drive across the border, and Abby.
Why don't you just listen to him for a sec?
Can I just finish? When you leave the country, like let's say you drive from U.S. to Canada, and you're Canadian or U.S. citizen, there is no U.S. customs that you have to stop. You don't have to present a passport to anyone from the U.S. The only person who's going to ask you for a passport is the country that you're entering, Canada.
Ding, 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 ding.
Abby, you do not have to
Yeah,
present
and Abby, I'm not
Oh my
getting
God.
this, where you're getting this idea that you can't leave the U.S. without a
I
passport.
said when you board an airplane.
You don't need the passport until you actually arrive in the next country, and then you need the passport.
You can't
Like,
get
I've
on an
lit-
airplane.
Oh my
Leaving the
God.
United States.
That's when you're leaving the country, Abby.
So hold on. This is silly. I know you can Google what I
Have
just
you
said.
ever
Let's
got
go
on
to
an
something.
airplane leaving the United States?
Yes, many
Have you ever
times,
gotten on
and
an
they
airplane?
don't ask you for a passport.
You
They
must
don't
have a
ask you for the
passport getting on an
passport
airplane
until you
leaving
get
the
to the
United
next airport.
No.
You know why, Abby? Let me try it.
Yes, you do.
Abby, do you mind if I try and answer the question? The reason why.
Because it's
The reason why is
I don't know if our Canadian
Yeah.
friends are aware, but actually you either have to have a passport or a driver's license.
He's saying
now
it's different from
that is
land border.
specialized, hold on, that is specialized to indicate that you are safe to travel. So would be the equivalent of having your passports. You can have either of the two. Your traditional driver's license won't even work anymore. Okay?
So,
That is
so
new.
do you
I'm
agree
not
with
sure. I am not sure if everybody
It's not new.
understands this.
That's for entry into
It's been
the
in place.
USL.
No, that absolutely is no.
No, so here's why they insist you have a passport if you're getting on a plane to leave the country. Is because if you arrive at that country without a passport and they refuse you, it is the airline's cost and responsibility to return you to the country of origin. And the airline doesn't want that responsibility. And that's
It's
not the
different
same
than
as
land
saying
border.
you have to go through customs.
Because
Yeah,
I
that's not the
actually
same.
have
So
all of
okay, so
those
can I ask
things
you?
to travel, not internationally even. I needed to board any flight now.
So can I ask you something else?
He's talking about the difference between land borders.
Do you think that means that you have to go through U.S. customs to leave America? Because that's what Abby said. Do you agree with
I
Abby?
didn't say that.
Abby is that what you said?
I said you can't get on an airplane leaving the country without a passport.
So do we start that conversation by you saying, hey, why don't you guys stop and check what's coming out of your country? And I respond by saying, that's not how it works. Like, you agree that's how we got here, right?
Yeah. So it's not the responsibility of Canada to keep shit out of America. It's the responsibility of America to keep shit out of America. Just the same, it's not the responsibility of the United States. It's not.
Out of our northern border.
No. It's not that. But that's not how international law works.
So how
That's
are we
not how
gonna stop it
international.
coming out of Mexico and out of Canada?
America's supposed to stop it. It's their responsibility.
How do we stop all of these lovely tourists from coming in from Canada? How do we stop it? What would you suggest? You're in charge.
All of these lovely terrorists, I think you're being hyperbolic.
Cooperation.
You live in a paranoid fucking world.
I live in a paranoid world. Do you want me to pull? I'll just put it in the chat if you want to.
Yeah, drop it there, Abby. And let me ask.
Ray,
Yeah, so
would you like to
drop
see
it.
the and
Please
this
do.
isn't even
Yes,
to
please do.
tell. This is
Please do.
Ray. While Biden was still in office, giving testimony to Congress and putting us on high alert about everyone that's coming in and what's in our country now, and he specifically states the northern border.
Can I ask a question for folks, right? Like recently, in the last 2 weeks, the Trump administration's top person put out a report, right, on the biggest problem spots when it comes to fentanyl and drugs being imported and illegal immigrants being sent to America. Canada wasn't in the top 10. Why do you guys think that is? Because all you're saying that we're this massive, like, serious threat to America. Why do you think we weren't in the top 10 nations? That the Trump administration's people just...
It's people coming in through your nation, not Canadians.
There's no threats coming. I mean, it's possible.
Hello?
It's possible, but what
They're
Trump
not
is supposed
Canadians. The people that are on the watch list that are coming in through Canada. Again, if you give me a minute, I'll pull up the last round of testimony.
I know what you're talking about.
They're not Canadians. It's Canada not stopping them from coming in, and they're coming in from the
If
northern
they're
border.
allowed
We're not
into
as paranoid as you
Canada,
guys.
they can go to Canada. If they
Well, I
go
don't know
to
if you ever
Canada,
caught
You guys are crazy.
then
a few of
it's the
your friends in
U.S.'s
ISIS,
responsibility to
hanging out
stop
in the
them,
neighborhood.
not Canada's.
Really? Because if a terrorist
Yes.
got on an airplane
According
in the United States,
to
headed for
international
Canada,
law,
they'd be
it's
stopped.
your responsibility to stop them. That's 1,000% fact.
Then you
Right,
should
and maybe
stop
we
them.
do that by putting some tariffs until you figure out that you got to control your borders a little
Perfect. So
bit.
let's talk about
Why?
terms.
Because Trump can't do it himself.
I do not
He can't man the
understand
borders for
how
America.
You
What
can
the
want them
fuck?
on our side. You do want man them on your side.
You guys aren't manning on your side.
I do not
Obviously, you're
understand.
not.
Shut the fuck up for a
Because you're
minute.
trying to get us
Oh
to
my
do your
God,
job
do
for
not
you.
make me mute you.
How many times have you guys crossed the Canadian border? Like,
Like many
literally.
fucking times. I'm older than all of you. I guarantee.
No,
you.
you're
How dare you?
I
How dare
am.
you?
I promise you.
No, you're not,
Oh,
Elf.
honey, I am.
No, you're not.
How much you want to bet? I can tell right
Don't
now.
call me honey.
I did call you
Don't call
honey.
me honey.
I did call you honey.
Yeah, I used to listen to 8 tracks. All y'all be quiet right now. I used to listen to 8
You
tracks.
have no
Let's-
idea how old I am.
Yeah,
that
bro.
you're talking
Abby's the oldest.
And I said in a
Obviously, I
condescending
understand.
way.
But I'm not
So
gonna
I
say
You
that.
don't need to
that I
be
have
fucking
crossed the
condescending
border.
to your fucking
You were
parents.
Abby, I'm taking on second on
Okay,
this.
I can get it back.
Are you guys cool with a quick reset? I just want to ask a quick question because this was my
You've
take.
got
I was
ugly
listening to it.
Republican makeup too.
You know what? I think
Hold on. Reset.
How about that?
Hold on, reset. Let me ask you a question because I heard a Republican senator saying this, and my takeaway, like literally halfway through, I wasn't sure if he was like criticizing Trump or he was pro him. And this is what he said, right? He said, and I'm going to use rough numbers, but these are roughly right. So Canada purchased about $350 billion worth of goods from America last year, and America purchased about
And
470 billion.
bad filler.
Hold on. And America bought
You know what?
480 billion. Hold
I'm
on.
about
No.
your fucking condescending bitch ass bullshit. And then
Can we
you
talk
want
to
to
Boots?
cry,
Can
and
we
then
talk to
you
Boots?
want to cry about somebody calling you honey? That's rich, bitch.
Can we talk about trade deficits? Hold on a sec. Hold on. I did that intentionally. Hold on. So this is the thing, right? And so
What about getting all worked up for no reason, eh?
Stop it, Demon. So this is what he said, right? Is that America purchased $480 billion from Canada, and he pointed out that Canada has 1/8 the population and economy that the U.S. does, right? And so when he said that, I was like, yeah, thanks for making a great point, right? Like America, who has 8 times more people, 8 times bigger economy, only purchased like $60 billion more from Canada, right? Like if it was proportionate, right, either Canada would only purchase like $4 billion instead of $350 billion, or America would purchase $1.3 trillion from Canada instead of the $460 billion. And yet these are the numbers that Trump claims is Canada leeching off of America. So can you explain that? 'Cause I don't get that.
Well, a lot of his fucking voters can't do math, so I mean, you know, they just hear like one's bigger, one's smaller, but they don't take into consideration the population difference, Jeremy.
I'm just curious, right? Because when we look at that, we say, hey, we're your biggest customer of the things that you make. You guys buy a little bit more from us, but the reason is because we give you like stupid cheap electricity and gas, like way below market.
Oh, it's only 20% the fucking market price. The oil that we sell to the States, which is ridiculous. Why would we sell it? I think it's such a fucking ridiculous thing
Do you know
to
why?
give such a break.
Ask yourself that. Why?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. No,
because our politicians are corrupt.
And why else?
No, it's because
no, for sure.
It's a good question, Al. It's because we had a pipeline that went down to America to do where your refineries are that consume that tar oil, right? And it was really hard for us to build pipelines across BC to the port where we can sell to China.
We might make it now, though.
Because of our First Nations, right? And that's no longer an issue because we're all behind, finding new markets for our energy and our products.
Yes, and that is one issue, but there's another one.
For the hydroelectricity, it's because of the proximity to America.
It's the proximity. That's it, Al. It's just because you guys are close.
Also, in this partnership, in this arrangement, there's an understanding of protection.
Who's going to attack Canada?
I think is disintegrating right now before our eyes.
Who's going to attack Canada?
It is disintegrating. But hold on, Mike. It is disintegrating.
If you aren't ever worried about anybody attacking,
I'm not worried about it.
Great.
Nobody is.
Canadians have anything to worry about.
We have nothing to worry about. Do you have any idea? Just look at our geography. Do you have any idea how difficult it would be for somebody to invade Canada? Do you have any clue? We've got massive oceans on either side of us.
Worry about it, and I think anything that happens as far as
nobody's getting in.
Nobody's losing sleep over it. Trust me, Al. Nobody. We don't have a paranoid fucking television system.
Is you realize that if Canada joined the European
Union, it can happen. It can happen. Terrorists can happen.
Join the European Union. If Canada joined the European Union, we would be.
It could definitely happen now. 100%.
Utterly fucked.
I think you should totally.
But Al, I think what you're saying is
you
important.
already control
You should do it.
most
Guys,
production
hold on.
regulations because they have the 5th largest market in the
I
fucking
think you
world.
should do it.
So Al, this is
So
where
any regulations that the EU puts on products,
I
that's
think
the
you would
product
fit
you
in
get.
perfectly with EU.
So Canada, I'm not Canadian, Elle. I'm American.
I don't care
I'm just
what
a
you are.
fucking
I think they
pragmatist
should
that I know
totally
what the
do
fuck
it.
is going on.
So Al, this is where I agree with you, right? And this is where I think one of the really positive outcomes of what Trump is doing is going to result in, right? This idea that America has been the savior police of the world has forced so many nations to spend money on the American military-industrial complex, right? Which just fuels your entire economy, right? And so I agree. Like for the first time ever, the EU is going to spend more on military investment than the U.S., which is spectacular. Canada has canceled. It is amazing. This is where we agree. Canada has canceled their F-35 contracts and are going to buy Saab.
That's like $500 billion worth of planes. Yeah.
Also awesome, right? And you're right, Al. Canada shouldn't suckle at the teat of America. We should have our own strong military. We should have customers like China and Europe and other countries that don't want to invade us and don't want to treat us like shit. So we're going to come out of this fine. Everybody wants the shit we have. It's America when they no longer have a military, when no one will buy their bonds, when nobody wants to fuck with their nation. Who's gonna buy your debt out when you don't have an open market? Why the fuck is Japan gonna give a shit? Why is Canada gonna give a shit? Why is Germany gonna give a shit? All the people that own your debt. You guys are a welfare state. No, you're a welfare state.
When we start manufacturing here and we don't need your shit,
Dude.
that also changes the
No,
dynamic.
we're
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope the manufacturing comes back. I mean, the thing about that is, right, is, you know, I mean, if you own like a small business like me, you realize that setting up a fucking factory and shit, and I'm just working out of a garage, but setting up a factory is so expensive. So all these guys that own these factories right now, they got to be thinking like, is it cheaper for me to wait out 4 years? Because Trump's probably going to get kicked out, and then who knows, maybe the Democrats will come in and everything's going to change. Is it cheaper for me to wait it out?
Really,
Or is it cheaper for me to bring the fucking factory, all the way back home to Canada? So, I mean, Al, if you're right, like if it's a long-term change, then it might happen. The question really is...
What kind of tax do you pay with your
I was talking to Al, Abby. I was talking to Al.
Hold on.
Just ask the question, what kind of tax do you pay now? If you're
What kind of
waiting
tax of
this
what?
out, what kind of corporate tax do you pay in Canada?
Me? I don't pay fucking shit. I don't pay.
I've asked the wrong person. Generally, Jeremy, do you know what the corporate tax rate is there?
The corporate tax rate, it
I know,
varies
but-
depending on what business. I can talk about personal income tax rates
I
in
mean,
different provinces.
that's different. I'm asking corporate tax rate. What is it?
My total
I'm
tax
assuming
is
it's
about 25%, everything. Like everything at the end of the year.
Is that the corporate tax rate in Canada?
No, mine is like 12%.
That's
in
what
Alberta.
you're saying. That's what the corporate tax rate is. 12%. That sounds.
Yeah, it's 12. Oh, it's
You're certain
12%.
about that?
Well, for my tiny ass business, yeah.
Generally, what's the corporate tax rate there?
Fuck if I know.
Who cares? The point is, Jeremy and Mindvirus are incompetent, angry people who come here to project on us their own anxiety and depression. They're pathetic and they're retarded. Oh, I got kicked out of every account. Every single account. Dr. Australia. Somebody's got to do it. I don't want to have to do this, but I feel compelled to. I feel that I'm forced to do this. If I don't do this, no one else will. And these losers will get away with it. But what they're getting away with is wasting my time. They're actually getting away with nothing because they're wasting all their time. But I'm gonna write down what's called a to-do list tomorrow, I think, and like try to do something.
Your company's not gonna make it if the Chef of America sinks.
Just listening. I got all these Adrian Dittman, Wisconsin clips up. You know, Dr. Australia, you're like the perfect assistant. You never talk back, but you're always there. I think that's what everybody wants on Clubhouse is they don't actually want any feedback from their stupidity. They just want to talk and get their dopamine in for the day. Dopamine. I don't see anything else interesting.
Go back in the water, back to the other side where there's no water or no air. I mean, there is air, but it's not like in the fresh air. Then they exhale their oxygen back in there to like keep the fresh air inside of there. And then they gotta maintain the hole as well. They're working 9 to 5, bro. Like they live in a shitty life, bro. They're like paying tax.
Sounds like it. Sounds like ants. Yeah.
I was drinking out the bottom.
Let's take it to the south.
No. I'm going to sleep alone. Because I'm lonely.
She's lonely and bored.
It's so lonely in my mansion. Kissing her because
On my way.
Welcome to the Chicago party line, Mayor Brandon Johnson's Chirac.
Oh, hell no.
Your butt stink.
Donald Trump is gonna wipe your booty and tuck you into bed and sing you a lullaby.
Ramirez, what you wearing?
What?
I said, what you wearing?
Nothing. I'm trying to figure out why was Hendrick trying to fuck me. He talked to my friend.
He's not trying to fuck you.
Now you trying to fuck me.
I'm trying to fuck you.
Confused.